I'm Hyundai the dietitian, and welcome to Healthy Made Simple, where I show you how to make healthy eating simple. In this video, I'm going to be sharing my grocery haul. Now, I went shopping this morning to buy some ingredients to make healthy dinners for the next week, and I already have a meal plan that I'm planning on following, so it'll combine these ingredients that you're going to see along with what I already have in my fridge, my freezer, and a couple items from my pantry that are going to create 7 healthy dinners. And there will be a follow-up video to this where I'll show you what those 7 healthy dinners look like. And I bought enough that I can make a bigger batch each night so that we have enough for dinner and then leftovers for lunch the next day. So this should cover our lunches and dinners for the next week. Now, I did my shopping at Trader Joe's, but a lot of these ingredients and items you're going to see are actually produce. There are a couple other shelf-stable items, but nothing is specific to Trader Joe's. You can find all of these items at your local grocery store. And I'm hoping that this video kind of gives you an idea of how you can stock up items in your fridge, especially produce, and how you can use the same items for multiple meals so that you can get more out of what you're buying. And as I'm going through and showing you these items, I'm also going to share what ideas I have for how I'm going to turn these into healthy dinners. And then you can watch my follow-up video next week with how those dinners turned out so that it gives you a week's worth of meal planning as well as a grocery list that you can use to create those healthy dinners. If you're interested, stay tuned to see my grocery haul. Alrighty, let's go. All right, I'm going to start with the vegetables, which is basically going to be the bulk of this grocery haul. I had already picked up fruit from Costco, so you won't see fruit with this one. It's mainly going to be vegetables, and we do like to do vegetables at dinner time as much as possible. We do try to aim for that half of our plate to be veggies. So I'm going to show you what I bought and how I'm planning on using that to make these healthy dinners. Now, first I have diced onions, and I bought 2 bags of these. I love that Trader Joe's sells these, and you can also find these at other grocery stores. I know they're typically in the frozen aisle, and you may also find it in the fridge section as well. And of course, you can always take your own onions and chop them up, but I just do not like the process of chopping up onions. So I bought these, and these are mainly going to be incorporated into my proteins that I'm going to be making. In order to make meal planning easier, I'm going to cook the protein in advance. I'm actually going to do that today on Sunday. I'm filming this on a Sunday so that I can at least have my protein cooked for the week, and it'll be easier for me to put the meals together when it's time to actually have dinner. So one of them's going to go with my chicken that I'm going to be making, and one of them's going to go with my ground turkey, and it's going to be a big batch of both of those. So we'll use up all of these. And those are the diced onions. And I also got green onions. I bought 2 packs of green onions. I love using green onions as a substitute when I'm out of those diced onions. Instead of taking a full onion and chopping that up, I actually prefer green onions. And I like that with green onions, what I can do is use that bottom white portion kind of as my onion base, and then use the top portion almost like a leafy green. So you kind of get both uses out of the same product. Now I'm going to be planning on making a noodle dish, so this will definitely go into that one. And then any other dish, I think I'm going to make a pasta as well, so maybe I'll use one of these for pasta. I actually really like using green onions in pasta. The white works really well when you're mixing it with the veggies and the sauce, and then the green adds some extra greens to the veggies that you're already putting in there. So I got my green onions. And then next I have some English cucumbers. I bought 2 of these because they're going to go in 2 separate dishes that I'm planning on making. The first one is going to be a quinoa salad. I had picked up some quinoa, and I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of quinoa, but I am planning on making a salad with that, where I'm going to combine that quinoa with some cucumber. I already have some tomatoes in my fridge, and I think I'm going to do some corn with that, and I'll show you the can of corn I got for that. Some chicken in there, and I'm going to do a red wine vinaigrette with it. And I do have a red wine vinaigrette recipe that I like using, and I typically use that for my orzo salad, but I think it's going to work just as well with a quinoa salad, and that'll make a nice, refreshing kind of salad option that already has some grains in there. It's going to have some protein in there with the chicken to make it a nice, complete meal for dinner time. And I love having things like that, especially in the summertime when it's warm, to have a nice, cool dinner option, and it'll go great for lunch the next day as well. So one of these cucumbers is going to be for the quinoa salad. The other one's going to be for pita wraps. I'm planning on making some tomato chicken and then doing a pita wrap with that, and the cucumber will go in there where we'll open up the pita, and I'll show you the pita that I got for that. Put some protein in there, which is going to be my tomato chicken. I'll do the cucumber in there and then some lettuce and some tomato with that as well too. So that's what the English cucumbers are going to be for. And on that note, I'll show you the iceberg lettuce I got. I like getting shredded iceberg lettuce, so I don't have to worry about cutting it up myself. You can absolutely get just iceberg lettuce and cut it up yourself. But these are pretty inexpensive at Trader Joe's. They're like $1 something, and it saves me a lot of time at night with dealing with, washing and cutting up some iceberg lettuce. And I got 2 of these because they're going to be used for 2 separate dishes as well. One of them is going to be that pita wrap that I talked about. We'll use the lettuce to go into the pita wrap as filler, along with all the other ingredients in there. And then the other one's going to go for a rice bowl, where I'm planning on making a tomato rice and then having the protein in there, and then the lettuce will be the bulk of it. Anytime I make a rice bowl, it's really more like a rice salad mixture, where I tend to go pretty heavy on the lettuce and not as heavy on the rice, because I'm trying to keep the carb portion to about 1/4 of the plate and make half of the plate veggies, where the iceberg lettuce will really come in handy. And then I'm also gonna, be adding in other ingredients in there, like chickpeas, to the rice bowl to help bulk it up and add some extra protein. So that's what the iceberg lettuce is going to be for. And then I also have some shredded cabbage, and I love using shredded cabbage. Again, you can just buy regular cabbage yourself and shred it up, but these are pretty expensive at my Trader Joe's as well. They're $1 something, and it just saves time on a weeknight, so I don't have to worry about cutting this up, and I can just open up the package and dump it in. And as you can see, I have 2 of these, so they're going to be used for 2 separate dishes. The first one is going to be for that noodle dish that I had mentioned, so it'll go in there along with these shredded carrots that I got. So it's going to be a double use, and again, I got 2 bags of these shredded carrots as well. Same idea with the carrots. You can always do it yourself, but buying convenience item like this, where it's already shredded, ready to go, and all you have to do is dump it in, really makes meal planning and cooking so much simpler and saves you a lot of time. So I think that's, for me, worth it for the extra cost of buying it shredded to save me that amount of time on a weeknight when I'm trying to make dinner. But on that note, the shredded carrots along with the cabbage is going to go into my noodle dish that I'm planning on making. And then I'm also going to use it for my pasta dish as well, where I'm going to be using pretty much both of these ingredients, the cabbage and the shredded carrots in the pasta dish. And a pasta and a noodle dish are quite similar. It's just going to have different sauces. The pasta will be a tomato base, like a marinara type of sauce, whereas the noodle dish comes with a soy sauce and sesame oil dressing already in there that I'm going to be using. So it'll be slightly different, but basically using the same products. And I found that using shredded carrots has been a really easy way of sneaking in vegetables to pretty much anything I make. They kind of disappear in there, and it's a great source of nutrients to add in. And when you're buying it shredded like this, and again, these are pretty inexpensive, it just makes it easy to just dump it in there so that you have some extra veggies added to your meal. And then I also got some bell peppers, some tri-colored bell peppers. Anytime I buy bell peppers, this is the color that I like to go for. These are really high in vitamin C, and it's a great source of nutrients. So I try to go for these colorful ones. And I'm not a huge fan of eating these raw, so those are actually going to go into my pasta dish along with the carrots and the cabbage to make it a really veggie-filled pasta dish. Typically I would do something like zucchini or squash, but I've just been wanting to change it up a little bit. So that's why I switched to using cabbage and carrots this time along with the bell peppers for that pasta sauce with lots of veggies in there. And then next I have some corn. And this is microwavable corn that I get, oops, upside down. This is microwavable corn, so this can go into the microwave within its container, its tray that's already in there, which makes it super duper easy for a weeknight. And I'm thinking for this one, I'm actually gonna be making some shredded chicken and add some barbecue sauce to that. And I picked up some barbecue sauce. Now, barbecue sauce isn't necessarily the healthiest thing, but again, it's just a matter of portion control. So as long as you're not doing really, really heavy serving of barbecue sauce, just adding some for flavoring is totally fine. And this is just what I found at Trader Joe's. You can use any barbecue sauce that you want. If you can find something that's even a little bit lower in sodium, would be even better. But I'm going to do a barbecue chicken where I'm going to shred some chicken, add that barbecue sauce to it, and then we'll also do some corn on the side with that. And that barbecue chicken is actually going to go on top of a salad. And I bought salad kits for that. I typically don't make my own salad at home unless it's type of a grain salad like that quinoa salad that I mentioned. But just like regular like side salad type of thing, I don't usually make myself. So I do prefer salad kits a lot of times. And I got the Southwest salad kit. And I bought 2 of these. Where's the other one? There we go. I bought 2 of these so that we can have enough for dinner and lunch, because my husband and I will eat through one of these bags for dinner, and then the other one will be for lunch, and I'll have that barbecue chicken in there. And then for dinner time, we're actually going to do the corn on the cob on the side to make it a heftier meal. And that's mainly all the kind of vegetables that I got. The only other thing I have are going to be these tiny potatoes. I've started making these in the air fryer, and I'll show that to you when I do my follow-up video on this. But they're super duper easy to make in the air fryer. You don't even have to, chop them up or anything, just kind of coating them in oil and sticking them into the air fryer, and they turn out really nice and crispy. So we're probably going to do a dinner for one of the nights where, to make it super easy, we're going to do these tiny potatoes with some salmon burger and some broccoli on the side. And for broccoli, I usually do my frozen broccoli. I have plenty in my freezer, so I'm probably just going to steam that and do my salmon burger and some potatoes for one of the meals. And that'll be an easy dinner because that's not going to require a lot of cooking. We just have to throw the salmon burgers on our griddle, stick these into the air fryer, and then put the broccoli in the microwave. So that's a simple cooking night, but that'll be one of our dinners to kind of have a change of pace from all these other options that are being used in multiple different dishes throughout the week. And then other than that, I just have a bag of lemons, and this is going to be used for that red wine vinaigrette that I had mentioned. I was low on lemons, and I also like sticking lemons in my water for the week. Sometimes I do like doing like a drizzle of lemon on top of dishes just to add a little bit of brightness and citrusy taste to it, and it kind of helps lighten up any dish. So got lemons for that. And then some of the more shelf-stable other items that I have are going to be some spaghetti. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be doing a pasta dish, so I'll cook this a whole pack of spaghetti so that it's enough for dinner and lunch. It might even make even more than that in terms of leftovers, but we have a pack of spaghetti for that. I have some tomato paste, and I'm going to be using this to make my tomato chicken. And I'll show you how I do that in the follow-up video, where I saute the chicken in some tomato paste and olive oil and some butter in there as well to create that tomatoey flavor. And that tomato chicken will be used for a couple different things. And then some of the other items I got are going to be whole wheat pita. You can find whole wheat pita at pretty much any grocery store nowadays, and it's a great way of doing a higher fiber option for pita. And again, we're going to be doing wraps with this, as I mentioned, with that tomato chicken, with some cucumbers and tomatoes in there, and the iceberg lettuce to make it a really nice filling pita. And what you can do with these is, what I like to do is I cut them down the middle and I open them up and fill the inside to make like a pita pocket, and it turns out absolutely delicious. That'll be for one of the nights. These are the noodles that I mentioned. I like buying these from Trader Joe's. These are the Squiggly knife cut style noodles with soy and sesame sauce. And the sauce comes in a little packet that you add on. And there are 4 packs in here. Typically on a weeknight between me, my husband, and my son, we'll go through 2 of these packs. So if I want to make enough for lunch the next day, I'm going to use this entire 4-pack of noodles. And again, that'll be combined with the cabbage, with the carrots going in there to really make it a hefty meal with lots of veggies and green onions too, of course. And then I have some garbanzo beans that I got. These are going to go into my rice bowl. I love coating garbanzo beans with some olive oil, salt, pepper, and just a little bit of lemon to make it a really nice flavor. And it goes great in a rice bowl. It's an easy kind of option that you can sneak in that's going to have some protein to bulk up really any dish that you're making. So garbanzo beans are going to go into our rice bowl. And then next I got a can of corn. This I'm planning on using in my quinoa salad to add some more veggies. I prefer using canned corn versus buying my own corn and cooking it and then cutting it up. That's just a lot of effort. So I'd rather use a canned product like this. And anytime you're using a canned product like this one, the best option to do is to drain it out and then rinse it until all the bubbles are gone. So you want to go through, make sure you thoroughly rinse until all the bubbles are gone, and that'll take all that canning liquid out so that you can remove as much of the sodium that's in that canning liquid as much as possible. So it does take a little bit of time. So be patient with it and keep going through it over and over again until you get that liquid out. And it'll really help reduce the sodium that you're getting in from a canned product like this one. Same applies for my garbanzo beans too. And then the last thing I have are going to be tzatziki's. I have both the regular kind and the vegan kind. Since I'm lactose intolerant, I prefer the vegan one. I'll be honest, I like the taste of the regular one better. I think it just tastes better. It's got big chunks of cucumbers in there. But since I'm trying to go as lactose-free as possible, I got this one for my son and my husband because they're not as lactose intolerant as I am and they prefer this. And I have the vegan one for myself. The vegan tzatziki I haven't seen in grocery store as much, so you can always just use the regular kind. I know most grocery stores carry tzatziki nowadays, and you can make it at home too. I think it's a little bit of effort, in my opinion, to make it, and I prefer to buy it like this, even though this is a little bit on the pricier side, and I'm sure you can make it easier at home just using some, Greek yogurt and dill and I believe lemon juice goes in there. I'll have to look up a tzatziki recipe. I should know better because I am Turkish, so this is kind of very common food for us, but I don't know the recipe off the top of my head. And I typically do buy it pre-made just for the convenience of it. And that's all of the products that I got from Trader Joe's. It was a big haul, as you can see, but it was a lot of veggies because we're really trying hard to get lots of veggies in as much as possible. And as you may have noticed, some of it is raw veggies that are going into our food, and a lot of it is actually cooked in, so that you have kind of different options. Especially in the summertime, I do try to include some kind of raw, more refreshing types of veggies as much as I can. But then I also need to be mindful that we are eating a lot of veggies in a meal. So sometimes cooking it in, adding it into sauces just makes it easier to get that bulk of veggies in. And you may have noticed I do a lot of lighter stuff like cabbage and iceberg lettuce, which may not seem as nutritious as, dark leafy greens. I do try to cater to what our family likes to eat. I can absolutely do some darker leafy greens. Trader Joe's has a nice bag of those. That's kind of a mix of, I think it's called like a cruciferous crunch mix that has like kale and I believe spinach in there. And that's great if you eat it, but my family won't eat that as much. So I'm trying to cater to what we do like to eat. And at the end of the day, it's still vegetables that we're eating. So just because something looks healthier, if you don't enjoy it and it's like, you don't feel like eating it, or you buy it and it ends up going bad because you don't want to make it, then what's the point, right? You always want to go for things that you're going to enjoy, that's going to make healthy eating enjoyable for you and your family. All right, so that is my grocery haul. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video helped give you some ideas and inspiration for what you can buy when you go grocery shopping and how you can turn those items into some healthy meals. Now stay tuned for my follow-up video where I'm going to show you a week's worth of meals that I made using these ingredients that you saw, in addition to protein that I already have in my freezer, because I do like buying my protein in bulk. And the main proteins that I'm going to be using are going to be chicken breast, ground turkey, and salmon burgers. So those are going to cover the whole week. And I'm also going to use some tomatoes that I already have in my fridge because I bought a big bulk from Costco. And I'm going to use some tomato sauce, some pasta sauce that I already have in my pantry along with my spices. So the main produce section is going to be what you saw in this video, just with some other items added from my fridge, my freezer, and my pantry to make a week's worth of healthy dinners. And I'll show you how I make these in a bigger bulk so that there's enough left for leftovers for lunch the next day. So you have both your lunches and dinners covered. Thanks again so much for watching, and if you have not already done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for my future videos, including this upcoming one with a week's worth of dinners. And then I'll be doing follow-up videos to that where I'm going to show you each of those meals individually and how I cook them up so that you actually have a guide for how you can make the meals that you're going to be seeing in the next video. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.